Welcome into another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance Instructor presented by LB's Meat Market. I am Neil McCready. Greg Jones of LB's Meat Market is here. Caroline McCready of Legacy Dance. Did I get that right?
Legacy Studio of the Performing Arts.
Legacy Studio of the Performing Arts is here as well for week 3 of the big show. So we got a lot to get to it. We'll get to it in a minute. First, I want to tell you about LB's Meat Market, LB's 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. If you're coming in this weekend for the Georgia Tech game, you want to make LB's a part of your weekend. You really do. They got lunches on Thursdays, Fridays. Stop in and you can get lunch taken care of. You avoid some of the crazy traffic and get you an even better lunch. And then, of course, if you've got plans for grilling, for smoking something all day on Saturday or maybe on Sunday after the game, you want to watch some NFL, you can do all of that as well. The best cuts in all of North Mississippi, quite frankly. Steak, chicken, I should say beef, not just steak. Beef, because I got flank steak there the other day. It was absolutely fantastic. Beef, chicken, pork, fresh seafood, the fresh-made, house-made sausages. They got the wings. They've got the bacon-wrapped asparagus. They've got the stuffed jalapenos, the different stuffed mushrooms. It's basically all there. You got to go in, check it out at LB's. It's fantastic. Greg, we got Georgia Tech coming in this weekend, so a big game. Then Ole Miss goes to Alabama. Then they come home to play LSU, Arkansas. So a lot of home games coming up here soon. What should people be looking for when they head into LB's?
Well, I just got done making some boudin and some Swayze sausage. I put some. I'm a big Miller High Life guy, so I put a nice 32-ounce can of Miller High Life into the Swayze sausage. So you can't go wrong with beer, bacon, cheese, and jalapeno and a sausage. And I'm getting plenty of salmon. I smoked some salmon the other day. So that's all we were talking about, prep meals and meals that can be easy. That smoked salmon's really easy. Throw it on a salad. Just ready for a couple back-to-back weekends of fun. Have plenty of lane trains. So we will not. I told my mom, she goes, Greg, just don't run out of lane trains. I go, yes, ma'am. I promise you I won't ever run out of lane trains. So we're hoping we will never run out of lane trains. So I have plenty of lane trains this weekend. And always on Wednesday and Sunday, we do 2 for $20 on those. So, and if it's not Wednesday or Sunday, 2 for $22. So you still get a pretty good deal on a $12 5 to 6 ounce bacon round filet.
Absolutely. Caroline, what's going on at Legacy? Are you whipping some kids into shape as you get your routines ready to go?
Yeah, today at 3:30 I teach 4-year-olds for 2 hours straight. So
wow.
today's my hard day because last week there was only 2 of them for 2 hours straight.
What do you do?
I let them build an obstacle course for 20 minutes as a break. I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. So I've been kind of dreading that one today. But the other ones are good. The older girls, I love teaching them. The kids, I struggle.
How old are the older girls?
They're like 4th grade. So they're like still, like they're sassy. Like they have more of the attitude. But it's not like I have to it's like I've had to implement a little strike system. So if they get 3 strikes, they're out for 15 minutes. And that's helped with because at first they thought I was like the new fun teacher last year. So now I'm having to be a little bit stricter or they're just going to be bad. And then I'm going to be in a bad mood every time. But yeah.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to.
I mean, the 4-year-olds, like teaching 4-year-olds to do anything. Wow.
Hurting cats, right? I mean, that's
tap, ballet, hip hop, acro. I'm probably not the most fit to teach them, but I'm doing it.
I mean, wow. Yeah.
It's good experience, I guess. I mean, 4-year-old. Yeah. No way.
She's got plenty of character. She's got plenty of character dealing with that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Caroline, you're going to have to implement some 3 strikes on yourself this week because you had a rough week last week of your picks.
Okay.
Greg, on the other hand, had a big week. Greg goes 7-3 last week on his picks. Caroline went 3-7 on her picks.
Dude, okay.
Greg has moved into the lead. Greg has a 3-game lead. Greg's 12-8, Caroline 9-11 as we head into week number 3. So both of you have plenty of time to get rolling. Caroline, you got lots of time to catch him. So
I mean, like the Auburn thing is I literally did not. I passed out like 9:45, and that was probably a good thing. And I was like, I think I did pretty good on my picks this week. And then I scrolled to the bottom. I was like, surely Auburn covered. And I get there, and I'm like, surely Auburn didn't cover. And so now it's no more Auburn. Like I don't care if they're a 1,000,000-point favorite underdogs. No more Auburn for Greg.
All right, we don't have Auburn this week because Auburn's playing Samford, so there's no line on that one. But
well, I like Samford, regardless.
Greg going with Samford. All right, so we'll get started on the picks. We've got starting to get. Look, it's not a great week of games, but we're a week away from a really good week of games. Next week you got Ole Miss goes to Alabama, Arkansas goes to LSU. We're getting some of those games here next week, with conference games rolling in, some big games, LSU and Ole Miss in 2 weeks. So we got some of those games. Your big game in Dallas against Texas A&M is in 2 weeks. Texas A&M loses last week to Miami. We got some drama starting to happen. So here we go. Greg, you won last week, so you go first. You're the leadoff man today. We start in Starkville. It is LSU and Mississippi State. This game at 11 a.m. on ESPN on Saturday. All these games on Saturday, by the way. LSU, Greg, is a 9-point favorite against Mississippi State.
I'm definitely going to take LSU. I feel like they're definitely a 2-touchdown team better than Mississippi State. And, Mississippi State's still trying to find their identity of what they are. Are they a running team or are they a passing team? I think Will Rogers has only had like 40-something attempts in 2 games. So I think they're trying to find their identity. But I think LSU's just got a little bit more talent across the board and should win this touchdown by 2 touchdowns easy.
Okay. All right. Caroline, Greg is going to take the Tigers. He's going to lay 9 points on the road in Starkville.
Okay, I don't have as much of educated reasoning because I'm not, like Greg, but I'm going to go with LSU as well because I don't really like Mississippi State, but LSU is just better, and they could easily do that.
I agree with both of you, by the way. I think LSU is going to roll Mississippi State. I think there has been a way premature writing off of the Tigers based on the loss to Florida State. Look, it's possible. I know this is a hard thing sometimes for people to get. It's possible Florida State's just really good. It's possible.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing about it is it's hard to determine what team any has because the new players coming in, then transfers. I mean, there's players coming in a week before the season starts. So I mean, there's so much question marks across the board with everybody. So I mean, look at Alabama. I didn't think Alabama would get handled the way they did. So, but yeah, it's hard to determine anything at the beginning of the season.
Lane Kiffin said earlier this week that I was asking him about the Georgia Tech game. Ole Miss, we'll talk about it in a minute, but Ole Miss is playing Georgia Tech this week. And last year, Ole Miss beat Georgia Tech 42-0. And then next week is Alabama. And I said, are you worried kind of about the emotional sandwich of that, right? How do you get your kids up for a game against the team that you blew out a year ago, knowing that you're getting ready to play Alabama in a week in a really big game, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, it's a good question. In the past, I'd think about that. But now with the way rosters are, half the kids weren't even here last year. So it doesn't matter. Last year doesn't matter. I think that's at least to some degree true kind of across the board in all of college.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have that professional. You got to have that professional mentality. I mean, this is not college football anymore. This is a business, and you've got players coming in getting paid, and they're ready, they need to perform, so they got to keep it on an even keel, I would think.
All right, Caroline, back to the games. We got Kansas State heading to Missouri. This game also at 11 a.m. It's on the SEC network. Kansas State, ranked 15th in the country, is a 4.5-point favorite at Missouri.
Do
you know Kansas State's mascot?
No, I don't.
They're the Wildcats. Do you know their color?
No.
Trying to help you pick here. Their color's purple. They're purple. They're from Manhattan, Kansas. So they call it the Little Apple because obviously New York's the Big Apple. Manhattan's the Little Apple. They're going to Missouri. Missouri is 2-0, but Missouri struggled last week against Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Because I think you had Missouri last week.
You did.
Yeah.
You had Missouri, and they won, but they did not cover.
Okay. I'm going to do Kansas State this week. I don't know why.
Probably
Missouri.
Probably because your dad just talked you into it, which is good. Listen.
And I'm just going to have to agree. I like Kansas State a lot here. I try not to throw the lock word out, but looks pretty tempting for sure.
I love this game from a betting standpoint, which is probably a bad sign for everybody because I'm off to a terrible start. But I love this game. I love Kansas State -4.5. I think they're going to blow Missouri out. I think this is easy money if you're actually betting money, not just LB's meat market money. If you're betting money, I think this is real money. All right, we go back to the SEC, Greg. We finally have some SEC matchups. We got the first one of the season, 2:30 on CBS. It's South Carolina heading to Georgia. The Gamecocks, Greg, are getting 27 points in Athens.
Man, it's a lot of points for an SEC game. I mean, I know that South Carolina did play really well against North Carolina, but who's to say North Carolina isn't a good team? Kind of like the I forgot who you just mentioned, that Florida State, being a good team. So maybe North Carolina's good, and just but I'm going to take South Carolina. Just too many points. I think maybe a garbage touchdown in the end maybe bail me out.
All right, Caroline. Greg is going to take South Carolina and get 27 points on the road against the top-ranked team in the country in Athens. What do you think?
I think I'm going to agree. I just speed Googled, and South Carolina's come close with the other teams, like the past teams they've played. Like they've been like closer than 27 points. So I'm going to go with South Carolina.
All right, you're both going to take the Gamecocks and get almost 4 touchdowns. It's interesting. I'm not sure which way I go on this one. I haven't decided yet. I'm leaning towards taking Georgia and laying the points, but I'm not there. All right, another massive point spread at 2:30 on ABC. It's Alabama coming off a loss to Texas, Caroline. Alabama lost a football game at home for Nick Saban. This is a trivia question. Nick Saban, as a head coach in the SEC, has now lost 2 home games by double digits. Ever.
Yeah, 2. I watched that game.
One was to Texas. He lost in 2003 when Caroline was just an infant. He lost. Caroline, you were about 6 months old. He lost to Florida when he was the head coach of LSU in 2003 by double digits. I covered that game. You were in a hotel in New Orleans that night.
And he lost to UL Monroe, right?
Yeah, but that was not by double digits. 10 points or more. So
okay.
It's happened twice in his whole career. All right, so Caroline, Alabama heads to Tampa, Florida to play South Florida. Alabama is giving 33 points.
Okay. I do agree with the fact that I think Alabama's going to win, but I'm going to go with South Florida.
Oh, Caroline.
I'm just going to go with it because they lost last week. Alabama did. And 33 points is a lot.
Okay, it's fair. It's a lot of points. 33 points, Greg. She's going to take the Bulls and get 33 at home.
Who South Florida played this year? Or what are they, an American? Have they conference jumped or anything?
Is South Florida in the American Conference? I'll look them up real fast. We got time here on this big.
Yeah, I didn't.
Let's see. I'm about to pull them up. We'll see.
Probably played.
They just played Florida A&M.
Oh yeah, that's how bad was that?
It was 24-38. South Florida won.
Oh wow, okay. I'm gonna take Alabama.
Yeah, I'm pulling up their schedule. USF football schedule 2023. So far this season, they have played. They played Western Kentucky and lost 41-24. They beat Florida A&M 38-24, and they play Alabama and then Rice, Navy, UAB. So they're in Conference USA. They're in
okay. Okay, I'm getting Conference USA and American mixed up. I thought they were the same. I thought they were the same thing.
You're thinking about UCF. This is USF.
But didn't they go to Big 12?
Oh yeah, but they were in American.
Okay. All right. anyway, I mean, Alabama looked terrible last week. I'm sure everybody got their keys taken away and no buffets. So I'm pretty sure the Tide should be rolling into Florida and hopefully win at least 45-10.
All right. So
wait, what's the spread?
33. Greg's going to take Alabama, lay the 33. Caroline's going to get 33 points. Another 33-point line, Greg. The undefeated, high-flying Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe. They head to College Station to play the recently defeated Texas A&M Aggies. It's a 3 p.m. game, SEC Network. The Warhawks, Greg, are getting 33 points on the road.
I love the Warhawks here. I think I predicted last week that there was going to be some drama in College Station after Miami wins. Sure enough, just predicting the future here. So I like UL Monroe here in some points.
All right, Caroline, he is going to take your dad's alma mater here against Texas A&M. ULM getting 33. What do you think?
All right, this one's gonna be shocking of me. I'm just trying to change it up so that maybe I can catch up. I'm gonna take Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. So you're gambling that A&M's kind of pissed off and that they take out a little frustration on the Warhawks.
Yeah.
I mean, they are good at beating bad teams.
They are.
I mean, I guess that's something Jimbo's got going for him.
I'm obviously I'm hoping for the miracle of miracles and ULM wins, and that would just be amazing, and it would make my day, and I would laugh out loud, and I would have the most fun with it on Twitter. But
I mean, they lost to Appalachian State last year. Why not UL Monroe go in there and pull the shocker?
Yeah, I fear that Caroline has this one right, but we will find out. That's why we play the game here on the Butcher versus the Dance Instructor. All right, let's see whose turn is it. It's Caroline's turn. We go back to the SEC. There was a day when this was a national game. This was, boy, you stopped the world to watch this game. Tennessee and Florida get together 6:00 Central Time on ESPN. The Vols ranked number 11 in the country. They're unbeaten so far, but they didn't look so good against Austin Peay last week. They go to Gainesville. Florida lost to Utah, bounced back with the win over McNeese. The Tennessee Volunteers, Caroline, are 7-point favorites on the road at Florida.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think they can do that.
All right.
Because Tennessee won last week. Florida lost. Is that what you said?
They both won last week, but Florida lost its opener to Utah. Tennessee really hasn't played anybody. Tennessee's beaten Virginia, and they've beaten Austin Peay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to still go with Tennessee.
All right. So she's going to take the Vols, Greg, and lay the 7.
Yeah, I think Tennessee, I like to throw the lock word out on that one. I mean, why not? Unless Utah is just really, really good. That's the only way. I mean, I think Florida's bad.
All right. So y'all are both going to take the Vols, lay the 7. All right, Greg, get your Grey Goose out. We got the Grey Goose, half bottle of Grey Goose game of the week. Right there it is, right there. The winner.
Yeah, I need to bring the Tito's one that I had last weekend watching the Ole Miss game.
So the winner of this game will receive a half bottle of used Grey Goose vodka. It's Vanderbilt and UNLV. This is at 6:00 on CBS Sports Network. And if you're watching this, why? It's Saturday. Do something, anything. Go to sleep. It's better than this. Vanderbilt, UNLV in Las Vegas. It is a gorgeous stadium. I love that stadium. Vanderbilt, Greg, is a 4-point favorite in Las Vegas.
I'm going to go UNLV.
Oh. All right.
I don't know why.
I got a feeling Greg's going to take the Rebels in a little while, but this time he takes the run-in Rebels, Caroline, against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt giving 4 points. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Vanderbilt. Campbell lives in Nashville. It's my only reasoning. I don't know much about UNLV football-wise. I only know about their dance team. So I'm just going to go with Vanderbilt.
Going with Vanderbilt. UNLV's head coach, Barry Odom, was the defensive coordinator at Arkansas the last few seasons.
Oh.
He's now the head coach at UNLV. All right, we come to Oxford, Caroline. You won't be here. Greg will. I will. Georgia Tech heads to Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off of a win at Tulane. It was probably a little close for comfort at times for the Ole Miss fans, but the Rebels prevail. This game is at 6:30 on the SEC Network. Georgia Tech, Caroline, is a 19.5-point underdog. So Ole Miss is giving 19.5 points to the Yellow Jackets.
I'm going to go with Ole Miss.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Caroline's going to take the Rebels, Greg. She's going to lay 19.5. I know you think the Rebels win, but here's the question. Do you think they cover?
No.
Whoa. This is a historic moment on this show. You're going to pick Georgia Tech to cover the line.
Yeah, I mean, for some strange reason.
I can't decide. I think this line is so perfect.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I know it's hard for a true Ole Miss fan like me to, but you don't bet with your heart. You bet with your mind. So the offensive line was a kind of a disaster. There was if the kid doesn't kick the 56-yard field goal, who knows what happens in that game? I don't know, man.
Maybe so.
There's some head scratching going for me.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Probably just lost all my business for this weekend. So
no, I listen. I think there's a lot of people that are like, they want to see something.
Yeah, you're going to see everybody cue in on Judkins. I mean, try to take him out of the game. But I mean, Dart's a gamer, man. I mean, like that fourth down, everybody was covered, and he avoided the blitzer and made the right play. And just, I mean, I love Jackson Dart a lot. I mean, I think he's a real gutsy player.
Yeah, I thought it was a big time play by Jackson. All right, Greg, we go to Fayetteville now. Caroline will be there. You won't. I won't, but she will. Arkansas entertains BYU on Saturday night, 6:30 on ESPN2 there in Fayetteville. BYU, Greg, is a 10-point underdog.
I've got a friend that graduated from BYU, so he grew up with him at MRA, Brian Cronin. So I'm going to have to go with BYU just because I've got a friend that goes to the actual school, so I can actually use that angle for once. And it might fluff some feathers over there on the other side of the table, but it's okay. It's a competition. We're having fun with it. So we'll see if my friend that I have a friend team wins this weekend.
All right, Carolina, what's the mood in there on campus about the Razorbacks so far? They're not off to they're off to a 2-0 start, but they haven't looked great just yet. What's the feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, there's not really much of one. I think last week we all thought we were like easy game, and then it really wasn't. But I'm still going to go with Arkansas. I could never go against them.
Okay, so Caroline's going to take Arkansas.
I think they can beat them by 10 points or by more than 10 points.
They did last year. They blew them out last year. I don't know whether last year matters or not, but I'm with you. I think Arkansas wins and covers this line. I think it's –
Well, BYU is very experienced. Watch out for the experience factor.
They're
all very experienced players.
Last year they were very experienced and they were just slow, and that hurt them. The lack of speed against SEC teams. But Sanders isn't playing for Arkansas, so that's could be a factor. All right, one last game. Caroline, you're up. You get to finish it out. Akron goes to Kentucky. This game is a 6:30 game on ESPNU. Kentucky, Caroline's a 24.5-point favorite against the Zips.
I don't know anything about Akron. Like, what is their season been like?
You know what state Akron's in?
No idea. I've never heard of it before.
It's Akron, Ohio. Akron football schedule 2023. Akron so far this season has played Temple. It lost to Temple 24-21, and then it played Morgan State and beat Morgan State 24-21. It plays Kentucky and Indiana over the next 2 weeks. So the Zips are 1-1 with a win over Morgan State and a loss to Temple.
Okay, I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Okay. Caroline's going to go with the Wildcats, Greg. You're sort of your adopted team.
Yeah, since I'll be in Kentucky on Monday, I'm going to have to go with Kentucky because I know all the guys would be mad at me if I didn't take them. And then I'm pretty sure I'm going to be mad at them because they're probably going to win by 21 points.
Yeah, they covered against Middle Tennessee or whoever.
Supposedly the quarterback, they're upset with the quarterback, or they don't like the quarterback.
They don't like Leary so far. Yeah, nobody likes the quarterback.
I go, yeah. Well, they like Jackson Dart, so I mean,
yeah. They did not play well against Eastern Kentucky last week, but I'm going to give Kentucky the benefit of the doubt and go that they were sleepwalking.
I think there was a couple guys on the coaching staff. I think there was a couple guys on the Eastern Kentucky coaching staff that used to play for Kentucky, so there was like, some friendliness going on. Yeah. But I mean, it's hard to beat anybody regardless of what division they are. You saw Austin Peay. I think whether they tied at halftime with Tennessee. Yeah,
it was real close. They frustrated them for sure. So at week 2, sometimes you saw it in Arkansas with Western Carolina. Arkansas was a little, or whoever it was, who they play last week? Kent State. Mm-hmm. They were a little flat with them. It was like once you jump ahead of them, it's kind of sloppy, and you don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to get up for Kent State, and it is what it is.
When you got LSU and Texas A&M and Ole Miss.
You don't want to show so many secret plays, because the triple reverse is always going to work.
Yeah, you don't want to put a whole lot on film if you don't have to. So. All right, that wraps it up for this week. So we got some differences on Alabama, South Florida, ULM, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, UNLV, Georgia Tech, Ole Miss. Ironically, Caroline going with the Rebels. Greg taking the Yellow Jackets to cover. We got differences on BYU and Arkansas. So I got enough differences to make it pretty dang interesting when I do the counting on Sunday morning to see how it goes. And we'll be back next week with another edition of The Butcher versus the Dance. Instructor Greg, if people want to get in touch with you guys at LB's, how do they do it?
Always call the phone, 662-259-2999. I'm on Instagram a lot. I've been posting a lot of pictures of fish and chicken and sausages and steaks, just to keep the Instagram active. So you can holler at us on Instagram, LB's Meat Market Oxford. Other than that, we'll be ready. We've got plenty of lane trains this weekend, plenty of fish, and have a bunch of sausage in the freezer. So take advantage of that with that $2 off.
Yeah, don't forget when you walk in, there on the left, everything in that against that wall in the freezer's $2 off. If you grab it, thaw it out when you get home and save yourself a couple bucks. So, Caroline, you got big plans for the weekend?
Just go to the game. That's it.
Okay.
How were your shoes last week? Were they comfortable?
Yeah, I actually wore comfortable shoes.
Oh,
I was proud of myself. Yeah.
We're changing things here on the.
And the weather's it's going to be so nice this weekend. It's not going to be super hot. Like last week, it was burning up, but this week it'll be nice.
Good weather's coming. Fall is around the corner. Next week we officially welcome fall in, so we're getting there.
Yep,
getting there. All right, guys, appreciate the time very much. Don't forget LB's Meat Market, 2008 University Avenue in Oxford. For Greg Jones, for Caroline McCready, I'm Neil McCready. Until next week, have a great weekend. Take care.